Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Yes, I picked the nicest backgrounds I can find in the middle of Nanning City on a Sunday afternoon. It's 35 degrees outside and thank God there's clouds in the sky, because I'm telling you, I would be roasting my ass off doing this. But as always, that's not what this video is about. You know, I did that video on the G7 and the Build Back Better, competing with the Belt and Road Initiative and all of those different things, and I started thinking about it, and and a lot of the comments that you as viewers send in sort of gets the old ticker sort of thinking, and why would Biden, why would the United States of America want to compete with China on the Belt and Road Initiative? Could it be that China's getting very rich and getting more influence around the world? Could it be that China has been investing in Africa for over 2 decades? Could it be that Africa has a population basically equivalent to mainland China? Could it be that the colonial powers to be out there in the world have taken advantage of Africa and China basically in the same way over the last couple of centuries? Could it be that colonialism, when they did invest in Africa, they built roads, they built railways, but it was only to extract the natural resources of Africa? Could it be the policies of apartheid in South Africa, where it created a world for the white person to float to the top and the black person to float to the bottom? Could it be that all of these policies that happened in Africa were happening in China at approximately the same time? Can you trust a country that goes to your coastal cities, towns, villages, and steals men, women, and children and brings them to their country so that they can use them for slavery? Could it be, you know what I mean? Like, you're getting the idea, right? Okay, so now Africa is in a position to be the next China. And you may say, oh no, Africa couldn't do that. Look at China 30, 40 years ago. China was a poor place. 30 years ago, China had less than 2% of the world's GDP. Less than 2%. Now it's in second place in the world economy, and in a couple of years, it's going to be number 1 in world economy. So when you say never, understand that never could be pretty damn quick. So when Africa looks like China did 30 years ago, the fastest urbanization in the world, the fastest population growth in the world. They say that, and who are they? The world brainiacs. Yeah, I really don't know, but I read it somewhere, that Africa's GDP is going to be $29 trillion by 2050. And you say, well, how does that compare to the United States? How does that compare to China? Well, last year China was at 14.72 trillion for GDP, and China is like China, you know what I mean? The United States was just over 21 trillion. You know, so when you look at it that way, Africa is going to be a powerhouse in the world. And it wasn't the comment from somebody on my channel about Africa and China that sort of sparked me. It was because of one of the Xinjiang videos that I did, and a person said, what happens if China, with 1.4 billion people, 2 billion people, or 1.6 billion people around the world that are Chinese? I'm getting bit by bugs, eh? That's why I'm always scratching my legs. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Well, actually, in the middle of the nowhere, in the middle of the city. But okay, 1.6 billion people, Chinese around the world. What happens if they were buddies with the Muslim people around the world that has 2 billion? okay? And, and that's a thought, because all of the Muslim countries haven't said Xinjiang's creating genocide, isn't doing forced labor, isn't doing the things that the Western world is telling the rest of the world that they're doing. The Muslim countries aren't on board with that because they don't believe that that's happening. Okay, but so what happens if all of the Muslim countries get together? What happens if Africa gets together? What happens if China gets together with the Southeast Asian countries that China is the major trading partner with? Where does that leave a place like the United States? No wonder these poor bastards are panicking, because holy smokes, you get just Africa and China. And Africa, I guarantee you, I might not see it in my days on this earth, because I'm old. Ask Jack B, or whatever the hell his name is. He's going to live longer than me. That's why you should watch his videos instead of me. That's what he says anyway. But I digress. But the idea that by 2050, Africa is going to be a happening place. They have the resources, they have the manpower, they have everything they need except for infrastructure. And you see, that's where China comes in. They're building hospitals, they're building roads, they're building bridges, they're building industries, they're building hydroelectric dams, they're building everything that they need in Africa to help the economy grow like it is in China. They're putting it into infrastructure. That's where the Western world sort of fell down. They figured that they could just bomb and shoot their way in and out of everywhere. Coups, attempted coups. Assassinating Soleimani, I think his name is, that would be like assassinating the Attorney General of the United States. And you think that's not a declaration of war against Iran? They get away with all of these things because they have over 800 military bases around the world. They're not out for you and helping you, and you see, and that's another thing. And by the way, all the other countries in the world put together have foreign bases of about 70 compared to the United States at 800 or over 800. But you see, they're not there. Their Build Back Better is not there to really compete with China. It's there to manipulate the poorer countries around the world. When they figured that they're going to compete with China in a place like Africa in infrastructure and helping people and investing cash and having construction companies go in and build bridges and roads and railways and high-speed railways and all of these different things that Africa needs to thrive. But in the United States, they can't even build a high-speed train in the United States. You ever see their roads, guys? Holy smokes. You ever see their bridges? Building in Miami just collapsed. Why is that? Because it probably wasn't built properly. See, all of these things. So when you get a country like the United States, when you get a country like Great Britain, remember South Africa and apartheid? Remember Hong Kong and 100 years of humiliation? Remember that these people didn't do anything for you. They took from you. They stole from you as people around the world. So now they want to come in to your neighborhood and say, we want to help you build those bridges. We want to help you build your hospitals. We want to help you build your economy. We want your natural resources, is what they're really saying. We want your oil, we want your cobalt, we want all of the things that we didn't get last time when we were colonizing your countries in your continent in Africa. We want South America, we want everything, and we really don't want to pay for it. The only reason we're paying for it is because China started it. China started paying for it. So why, it's probably cheaper than the military actions that they've been having in Iraq and Afghanistan and places like that. So when you look at all of this, when you look at the competition with the G7 saying, well, we've got to compete with China, we've got to do this and we've got to do that, we have to pour money into a place like Africa so that they listen to our doctrine rather than the doctrine of the Chinese Communist Party. We have to. But you see, it's all smoke and mirrors, guys, because they're not going to. They'll make contracts with you. They'll spend money on some roads and some railways, but it'll be the same as it was in the yesteryears of yesterday, where they'll build the roads to where your natural resources are. They'll build the highways and the railways to extract your natural resources. They'll make contracts with your governments to take advantage of you and your people. Where the Chinese people, they want you to survive and thrive just for the fact that they want trading partners around the world. They know that a lot of things can be built in Africa a lot cheaper than what they can be built in China. They want that market. They want to help you build that market. They want natural resources just like everywhere else, because China is in need of a lot of natural resources. A country of 1.4 billion people, they're in it for that also. But you've got to understand, they've been playing this game for over 2 decades in Africa, and you know what? It's been working for both sides. The Americans say, oh, it's a debt trap. No, it's building an African economy. And what happens if Africa turns into the next China? Sure, there's a lot of different countries in Africa, but what if Africa turns into Africa, the country, rather than the Congo and South Africa and the Sudan and Senegal and Ethiopia and all of these different countries that make up Africa as a whole? What if those turn into provinces? What if Africa turns into a China, and China and Africa are buddies? Even today, they have about 40% of the world's population. Maybe they don't have the buying power at this point that per person that the first world countries do, but in time they will. Then what? Being an expat, being somebody that lives in China, has lived in China for a long time, maybe I look at the world a little bit differently, but I do see the world changing. I do see China rising. I do see places like Africa getting better. Just the urbanization and, the population explosion in Africa. Just the idea that they're building infrastructure like crazy over there. Things like that. You see in Southeast Asia, they're making conglomerations of countries that are doing business, free trade business between these countries. What happens if the United States and Great Britain and Canada and those countries that were the bullies of the past, they're not invited to this new world organization? What if they're on the outside because of the way that they've dealt with people in the past? You know how many coups in South and Central America that the United States were part of? In Africa, look at the Vietnam War, look at the Korean War. It seems like they got away with a lot, but they got caught on a lot of stuff too. And they're stating that China is the biggest threat to their way of life in the world today. Well, think about everything that the Western world has done over the last 100 years, and make up your own mind on whether you would like them to keep doing what they've been doing for the last 100 years, to keep them at the top of the heap. Just because these are predominantly Anglo-Saxon countries doesn't mean that they should be running the world. I think that the Chinese are doing an excellent job in their area of the world. They're getting more power. They're getting more political power, economic power around the world. But they're working for it. When they go into a place like Africa, when they bid on infrastructure jobs, I'm just sweating, guys. When they bid on infrastructure jobs to build a bridge, to build a highway, to build a railroad, and the United States bids on the same job, what you're getting is the United States now has 6.7% of the construction jobs in Africa. China has over 44%. Why? Because the Americans just can't compete with China. The jobs are bid on cheaper from China because they do it more efficiently, they do it better, and that's just the way of it. So you're seeing a big turn in how things are working in the world today, and Africa is no different than China was 30, 40 years ago. So watch this, and watch Africa grow to be the next China. Anyway, that's another video from a field in the middle of Nanning City, Guangxi Autonomous Region, China, from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, Oh, buy me a beer. I'm thirsty. Oh, damn, I'm thirsty. Anyway, well, you don't have to buy. Yeah, buy me a beer. And don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now.